that time of the week where Denny Carter joins us on a Friday. Yeah. But before we get there, let's play a little hype video, maybe, to bring Denny in.
Yeah. Okay.
Something along the lines of that.
Our friend Andy Behrens tweeted on Monday morning, quote, "Every Monday, Derek Carr is dealing with 9 different distinct injuries, is fully immobilized and not allowed to fly. And then every Saturday, the Saints doctors reveal to the public they have found a new liver for Carr, so he should be clear to face the Panthers, pending a pregame workout." And, I know Andy was just joking, but let's be real, it's really not that far off.
We at Galaxy Brains looked further into this after Andy had tweeted this joke. It turns out it's not a joke, folks.
It actually wasn't a bit, no.
Derek Carr, the team keeps Derek Carr unconscious in a hyperbaric chamber 24 hours a day until game day. They only wake him from the hyperbaric chamber sleep 90 minutes before kickoff.
He takes 5 horse tranquilizers. He's not allowed to see any upsetting images. And then he goes out on the field and he plays football.
What a welcome. There he is. Wow, in your Friday best, Denny Carter.
Mr. Giggles with the buttons undone too, like that.
I'm here for business, but I'm a little casual. It's Friday, you know how it goes.
Yeah, let's go. Can we not get Rotopat like a good set of headphones? Like, what's going on with his 1993?
Well, him and Aaron Rodgers use the corded earplugs. Yeah.
No, I think it works with his X-Files season 1 type of aesthetic. It kind of accentuates the other Midwest drawl.
I suppose it does. I suppose it's Rotopat's got a brand and he's leaning into it. Yeah. It's fair enough. Hey Denny, before we dive into your regression files, I was just curious if any of these injuries, any of the injuries that you've heard about, sort of jump out at you.
Yeah, so I mentioned Raheem Mostert as a negative regression candidate in this week's piece, and obviously that changes completely if Devon Achane is out this week. We're gonna see about that probably shortly. Mostert is a great play if Achane is out, but so that's one injury that jumps out. And I agree. Jay mentioned Noah Brown. Nico Collins likely out this week against Tennessee. I know Noah Brown has 0 receptions over the past 2 games. 0. Okay, on 7 targets. He's going to see double-digit targets here, so you just got to hold your nose and play him.
I would agree with that. The other thing is that we didn't really get a chance to really dive into, but Tyreek Hill, like we mentioned it, but Tyreek Hill now has not practiced all week. He's officially going to be listed as questionable against the Jets, and all of a sudden, Cedric Wilson, now, they're playing the Jets, right? I mean, and Cedric Wilson ain't Tyreek Hill. No one in the league is, but when Tyreek wasn't on the field last week, Cedric Wilson had 100% route participation, around 16 routes. He had a 26.7% target share. He had a 9.8 average depth of target. Again, it's the Jets, so it's not a great matchup, but if you are truly desperate, and by the way, if this is an injury that's going to last more than 1 week, which we don't know, he kind of he was in and out of the game, and maybe he was hopped up on an adrenaline or whatever, and so was able to kind of gut it through that game, but adrenaline. And but whatever, he got through it. You know what I mean? If this is a multi-week injury, suddenly Cedric Wilson becomes kind of interesting.
Yep, no, I agree. And certainly, Connor and I were talking about this before in the makeup room, where...
Oh, I thought it was on a separate chat that I wasn't on.
No, this was in real life. We were having a discussion with our voices. But the Dolphins, they have a brutal schedule after this Jets game. Their season ends Baltimore, Dallas, and Buffalo. And if Tyreek Hill isn't right to go in those games, they might just be done. And if they lose this one and those, they're in danger of missing the playoffs potentially if it goes south. So it's an interesting equation as to whether that means you should go out and play Tyreek this week because you need to bank this win, or do you rest him? So it's interesting, but I wouldn't expect he's going to be 100%. And even if he is 100%, it's the Jets defense.
Yeah, I do want to say I'm on the record for better or worse as saying the Dolphins will not win another game this season.
Oh, so wow. Okay.
Jets guy.
Wow.
Zack
Look at you. Yeah. He hates the Dolphins. Yeah. Denny hates the Dolphins.
I have a Dolphins helmet right here.
I know you do. You do because you hate them. You're right. I understand.
Of course, Denny joins us every Friday for the Regression Files. Players who are overproducing or underproducing based on their workload, playing time, and opportunity. Denny, let's start with a negative pick as we always do. Who do you got for us this week?
Yeah, I hate to be the party pooper in Drake London, but man, he was super efficient last week. He converted Guys, he converted 95% of his air yards last week into actual yards that you can use in fantasy, which was nice, you know, and you like that. You like to see that, especially in this Falcons offense that doesn't always produce passing opportunity or yards. But his season rate of air yards conversion is 56%. So we're talking about massive overperformance in week 14 for Drake London. They play the Panthers this week. The Panthers have weirdly been good against the pass, and guys, and I hate to say this, you know, I talk about funnels all the time. The Panthers are a run funnel. And you know what Arthur Smith is going to do to a run funnel? He's going to run it until all the cows come home. So I don't know if Drake London is going to see, 5 or 6 targets in this game. He's going to have to be super efficient again.
I like that, Denny. I also like the kind of Ryan Gosling and the Big Short intonation of he's going to run it. It was very good there. I completely agree with you on Drake London. If Arthur Smith ever needed an excuse to run the ball, he doesn't need it, but he will take it surely against the Panthers. Another one for you, Denny, is on Mr. Jake Browning, overnight sensation in the NFL, who has been incredible the past 2 weeks. I actually brought my own stat to this one, Denny, where Jake Browning, his past 3 starts, his air EPA, so basically what is he contributing through his throw, what actually goes through the air as opposed to the yak, his air EPA is negative 5.3 points, plus 2.3, negative 1.1. And that's just another way of saying basically what you said in your article about how he is a yakman. It is yak city for Jake Browning, and basically you think that is potentially unsustainable.
Browning is doing exactly what the Bengals want him to do, and I actually credit you guys for being a little bit positive on Jake Browning as the Bengals starter when Joe Burrow went down. I made a video saying, you got to abandon everybody in this Bengals offense. Turns out I was wrong. You guys were right. But Browning has gotten away with it in that, you have guys like Chase Brown, you have guys like Jamar Chase going ballistic after the catch, right? So if that keeps up, then Browning remains a somewhat viable quarterback. But guys, he's playing a suddenly elite Minnesota defense. It's the Broncos and the Vikings are weirdly great on defense over the past month and a half, 2 months. Brian Flores, I think, is going to put Jake Browning in a blender this week.
All right,
wow.
Oh yeah, you heard it here first.
A blender for Jake Browning. Does he come
blender.
out alive from that?
Out of it?
I'm not sure you get
So
out alive.
you're saying you don't think he puts up Easton Stick numbers?
No, because I don't think that I don't think that the game script will get that crazy. The only reason Easton Stick did anything last night is because game script just got insane.
Yeah, no, I know.
Hard to guarantee 60-plus points for the opposition. All right, Denny, how about a positive regression pick then?
Yeah, on the positive side, we have. Sorry, I lost it here for a second. Zay Jones. We have Zay Jones. 14 targets last week, guys. 14 targets against the Browns, and didn't do much with it. I get that, but he played 95%, or he ran 95% of the routes. I think the Jacksonville-Baltimore game has a chance to shoot out. The Jaguars have become a pass-heavy offense over the past couple weeks. I think we could see another game here where Trevor Lawrence drops back 50-plus times, well, 40-plus times, maybe not 50, but 40-plus times. And Zay Jones, even though he is an inefficient player, okay, that he has a history of being inefficient, he could see double-digit targets again. And I just don't know if you can bench that kind of player in a PPR 12-team league.
Yeah, I get that. I do think the route participation and the number of routes run and just his kind of overall usage was, other than the actual production, was like it was very encouraging, especially with Christian Kirk out, and like we'll see if Parker Washington becomes a thing. But Zay Jones, I think, is somebody who has had production and success in the Jaguars offense. It's been intermittent, but since he's come to Jacksonville, he's had some success. So in a game in which they're likely trailing the Ravens, I could see that. I buy that.
Yeah, Christian Kirk being out changes everything for Ridley and for Zay Jones.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Denny, I was looking at your column as well, trying to figure out, is there a way that I can feed myself on air yards? It turns out you can't. You were right. But one thing you can feed yourself on is touches. And Zack Moss, even though you talk about somebody who's getting a lot of work and hasn't produced, Zack Moss is one of the guys that has gotten a massive work share the last 2 weeks, but just hasn't done much with it.
Yeah, he had a touchdown called back against the Bengals on what I would describe as a phantom holding call. There's someone who started Zack Moss in a couple leagues. I'm still bitter about it. But, I mean, you can't bench a running back who is running all the routes, who is seeing 90+% of the rushing attempts, especially this Colts offense, I should say, is very run heavy in the red zone, one of the 5 run heaviest teams inside the 20. It's going to happen, okay, guys. You just got to wait on it. The regression is going to hit. I think this week could be it.
I have at running back 16. I agree with you. He's gotten 7 goal-to-go carries in the last 2 weeks. He just hasn't been able to convert any of them. That's way too unlucky as well. Over the last couple of weeks here, he's averaged 19 touches a game. He's got a 14% target share, to your point about getting involved in the passing game as well. So you see it there on your screen. I have him as a top 20 play this week. He's an RB2. You can't bench that kind of volume in the fantasy playoffs.
Yep, his rushing prop as well is set at 73.5. So the market thinks that he will go off. And to your point about his red zone usage, I think that is very much by design, and Shane Steichen is an excellent coach, and he does not want to put the ball in Gardner Minshew's hands close to the goal line because we've seen what happens there, whether it's interceptions or
Who is the real stickman? Is it Shane Steichen or is it Easton Stick?
It's Shane Steichen. Yeah, Easton had a chance to steal the nickname last night, but he didn't take it. It's Shane Steichen. He's the stick man.
He's the stick man. There you go.
You can catch Denny for his live fantasy football Q&A right after happy hour at 1 p.m. Eastern time on the NFL on NBC YouTube channel.
Denny, when you do it, is it you solo or do you bring in Roto Pat? Is it just you?
Man, it's just me, man. I'm freewheeling the whole time. I just keeping it up. I feel like an AM radio host, just doing it by myself for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it for the kids. Will there be a costume change? Anything to expect, or are you going with this?
We're looking for a Christmas vest, and we're still searching the house for that one. So we'll see.
All right. I like that you got a team there. All right, great. It's fantastic. Good job as always, Denny. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Denny.
See you, Denny.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.